Hello, my name is Tim Gilmore, founder and creator of Thinkless Teaching. We want to give a short tutorial of how to handle our post-assessments on our Thinkless Teaching website. We're going to start off by looking at the Systems of Equations page. Each page on Thinkless Teaching is all set up the same way, so this tutorial will apply for any of our materials that are on our website. We're going to scroll down here to the bottom. If you notice, being highlighted right now is our materials with the videos that you can click on to get any of the materials that come with our animated videos, the answer keys that go with them, and like I said, today we're going to talk about how to handle the post-assessments and how to incorporate those within your own classroom. So we're first going to start off by clicking on it, and what you'll notice here comes up is your Google Drive will come up. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make a copy of this because all our tests are in Google Forms. So we're first going to start off by hitting make a copy. And this brings us up to our Systems of Equations, Math and the Movies quiz. Now, this is really nice because this edit of this copy is now yours, so you can change and do whatever you want to it. If there's questions on here you like, you can keep them. If there's something, say, you want to change, you can just click on it like such, and you can change it. If there's a question you think is too hard for your kids or too easy to your kids, you're more than welcome to edit it as well. We'll kind of just go real quick through our post assessments and how they're set up. One thing that I would suggest not changing is the name column up here. You don't want your kids submitting something without posting their name on it. What's nice is all the questions with the red dots, their student is not allowed to submit a quiz until they're all filled out, so they have to fill out this name column as well. As mentioned before, you're more than welcome to change any of these questions. It will not affect our webpage at all. It'll only affect your quizzes because you made a copy of it. Typically, our quizzes are 5-question quizzes right now. The first 2 questions are recall questions, and the next 3 are typically more extended questions or application problems as well that have to do with the video and the cooperative learning activities that your kids did. So looking at the top here, you'll notice here the first thing we're going to talk about, if you look, is the eyeball. As I hover over it, the preview button comes up. If I click on that, you're going to see exactly what the students would see if once they take your quiz. So this is, you kind of get an idea of what your students see in terms of the questions and how they're set up. I do love Google Forms because how organized they are, and they're simple for your kids to use. Going back to the edits page that we have here. So the next thing we're going to click on up here is highlighted as settings. So as I click on that, there's a variety of different things. Your kids do not have to have Google Form or a Gmail in order to use your Google Forms here. So we're going to talk about that. But if they do have a Gmail account, you're more than welcome to send that to them. You can collect the email addresses, and as you can see here in general, you can also limit them to 1 response. Next heading over is presentations. What's kind of nice in this is you can change the order of the questions. Some classes are smaller and got kids sitting next to each other, so you can reorder the questions so kids can't cheat off each other as well. So you kind of get an idea there to kind of change up your quizzes and everything. The last topic up here we'll talk about is the quizzes. This is kind of nice. You can give instant feedback if you want. You can show the respondents how many questions they missed. You can show them the correct answers, and you can show them the point values that they have for per question. One thing that I would suggest in my own classroom, I teach multiple Algebra 1s in a row, so I don't allow them to see the correct answer because I don't want my first hour going and telling my second hour what the questions or what the answers were for the assessment as well. So something that you think about, just I would take the correct answers off. They can still see how many questions they missed and what they got right, but if you want that kids to see instant feedback, you might leave it on there. The next thing we'll talk about, and probably the most important thing, is up here is the send button. When I click on send, if you do have kids or students that have Gmail accounts, you're more than welcome to email all your students the quiz, and they can take it right there clicking on the email that they would receive from you. One thing that I do in my classroom, I think it's quicker and easier, is I click on the link button up here, and I will shorten the URL by clicking on shorten URL. And a couple different ways you can go about doing this. If you don't have a web page or you don't use Schoology, you could simply write it on the board. Now, it's not the most beautiful looking URL that you've ever seen, but it will still work if your students wanted to type it in. What I do is I actually put it on my Schoology or my web page, and the kids click on the link and they'll go right to the quiz, and they'll take the quiz and go from there. You can also embed it in your website as well here as the third third tab over on there as well. So we kind of want to give you an insight of how to handle our post-assessments to make sure that you're allowed to use those within your classroom. We think it's great instant feedback after doing one of our cooperative learning activities, and you can truly see that your kids will gain from doing this type of activity. We hope you enjoyed our short tutorial on handling our post-assessments, and we appreciate you visiting our website. Thanks again.